He's trying to do the same thing. He want to fight the best they got out there. He's asking, can he fight the best? I believe his contract is coming to an end, so hopefully we can come together and I can take him to that next level and give him the fights that he want.
I'm that guy. I don't think that I'm that guy who I've been my whole entire career. Sometimes it just take a little minute to adjust and adapt, and I'm adjusting and I'm adapting well. So July 12th is going to be a statement.
The legendary Floyd Mayweather showed up at Shakur Stevenson's gym before his massive clash with Teofimo Lopez. Money praised Shakur as the absolute best in his division and committed to passing down his expertise. He's helping Shakur polish his technique, elevate his game, and climb to even higher levels in the boxing world.
But the most skillful fighter at 135 will be hands down Shakur Stevens.
And what is it about him? Because I know he have a lot of good attributes, but do you think he has enough power to sustain?
Well, it's really all about skills. Pernell Whitaker wasn't a huge puncher, but he was, very exciting, very tough, and he fought everybody. And Shakur is trying to do the same thing. He want to fight the best they got out there. He's asking, can he fight the best? I believe his contract is coming to an end, so hopefully we can come together and I can take him to that next level and give him the fights that he want, and make the fights happen that he want.
Shakur Stevenson is grinding relentlessly in camp, working every single element of his craft for the Teofimo Lopez showdown. He's drilling his lightning speed, perfecting his footwork, and tightening up his defense while working on devastating combinations and tactical approaches. Every training session maxes him out completely, honing his reaction time and building his gas tank. The laser focus, strict discipline, and total commitment he's showing proves Shakur is ready to take over come fight night.
Well, on my way. You should sleep yet?
Watch me, watch me, watch me, watch me, watch me. Watch me, watch me, watch me. Watch me, watch me, watch me. Shakur Stevenson is hungry to shut up every single person who questions his abilities. Even with everything he's accomplished, he wants to prove to haters and supporters that he's truly an elite-level fighter. Each bout gives him another opportunity to quiet the doubters and cement his position among boxing's absolute best. Shakur Stevenson is hungry to shut up every single person who questions his ability.
Honestly, I got a chip on my shoulder though. Like I got something to prove. I feel like with this fight, a lot of people sleeping on me. A lot of people don't think that I'm that guy. They don't think that I'm that guy who I've been my whole entire career. Sometimes it just take a little minute to adjust and adapt, and I'm adjusting and I'm adapting well. So July 12th is going to be a statement.
During his appearance on the Ariel Helwani show, Shakur Stevenson broke down his coming battle with Teofimo Lopez and fired back at doubters with total confidence. He's convinced Lopez has never stepped in there with someone operating at his elite level and knows he'll test him like nobody before. Shakur also weighed in on how Lopez would fare against top dogs like Terence Crawford, predicting he'd get completely dominated. Though he respects Lopez's talent, Shakur made it clear he doesn't put him in Crawford's class. He also touched on his promotional setup, mentioning that while he thought about leaving Matchroom, Eddie Hearn's involvement now guarantees solid support and top-level organization for this massive fight, showing how seriously he approaches both his training and the business aspects of boxing.
It's cool. I mean, that's their opinion. Like, you know, they could say that. But I know he never fought nobody on my level. Like, I'm 1,000,000% sure that Teo has never seen nobody as good as me in his life.
He's talking about, like, once he gets through you, then he wants Crawford, names like that. How do you think he would do against someone like Terence at this point?
I think he gets knocked out.
Can't even hang with him.
Yeah, he's too little. Bud is too big for him.
Right. As far as skills, though, do you think he's on par with the likes of Terence?
I'm not gonna say he's on a Terrence Crawford level of skills, but he's very skillful. He got a lot of things with him that puts him at a high level.
One thing that was interesting to me was it seemed like you were going to move on from Matchroom, but now Eddie Hearn is involved in this, and this is a Matchroom event. It seems like, I know it's a ring card too, but he's promoting it here in the United States. So what is the state of your relationship with Eddie and Matchroom at this point?
Eddie's my guy. I'm actually not signed to Matchroom, but he's my guy. I'm a big fan of Eddie Hearn, and nothing but respect to him. But I'm glad he's the promoter that's on this card. I'm glad to share the spotlight with his promotional company.
So if he's your guy, how come you're not signed to Matchroom?
I mean, it's just business. If it makes sense, then I will. You know, if it come down to it and that's what makes sense, then we'll do it. But right now, I don't think it makes sense.
Okay, so are you just more of like your own man at this point? Your own entity?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Do you negotiate with the ring people, with Turkey? You just do that yourself?
No, me and my manager, Jay Prince. Yep.
All right. Experts have dissected this matchup thoroughly, breaking down what each fighter brings and where they're vulnerable. The biggest weakness they've spotted is Lopez struggling against mobile opponents. Sure, Teofimo brings explosive power and athletic gifts that can overwhelm most fighters, but he consistently has trouble with guys who move well and make him constantly readjust. This becomes huge against Stevenson, whose movement, precision timing, and calm approach let him frustrate and dominate aggressive opponents. Bruce Carrington, a well-respected boxing expert, explained how Stevenson's range control, angle switching, and ability to put Lopez in awkward spots could completely shut down Lopez's attacking spurts, setting him up for clean countershots. Lopez's approach works best when he can take control and impose his will. But Stevenson brings problems Lopez hasn't really dealt with before. Shakur's defensive instincts, distance management, and rhythm changes severely limit Lopez's chances to land solid shots. The expert opinion is clear that Lopez's explosiveness won't be nearly enough. He needs to think strategically, stay patient, and choose his spots wisely. If he doesn't, Stevenson will control everything and punish every mistake. This keeps coming up in breakdowns of this fight. Stevenson's technical mastery might completely neutralize Lopez's physical advantages.
Like Teo is gonna bring the fight. He's very athletic. He has a lot of explosiveness, and but I do feel like when it comes to Shakur, bro, his movement may frustrate him. The only thing that worries me when it comes to Teofimo is his frustration. Like, is he going to be able to work well with a mover? We've seen, difficulties that he had with Sandor Martin. We've seen the difficulties that he had with Jimmy Ortiz, guys that's been moving around and not staying still. Like, if you keep Teo moving around and he can't plant his feet, what can he do? We're going to have to find that out on, January 31st. And I think Shakur, he's probably one of the best guys to, move his feet, be on defense, being hella patient and frustrating a fighter, bro. Like, so, I don't know. We've seen Teo get frustrated to the point where he's asking himself, do I still got it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We got to see what his mentality is going to be like come January 31st.
Do you think that his experience on the biggest of stages, his two biggest wins, he was an underdog. And those guys, ironically enough, were southpaws like Shakur. That play any factor to you, man?
Nah, styles is different. The styles are totally different. Lomachenko don't fight like Shakur. Josh Taylor don't fight like Shakur. Like I don't see just because it's southpaw that same thing will happen. I feel like certain techniques could be used to fight Shakur, yeah. But in terms of like that approach of the fight, nah. Like Shakur fights totally different. You gotta be able to do some out of pocket stuff with Shakur. You gotta throw while he's throwing. That's probably some of the only times that he's able to get hit.
There's another viewpoint that says Lopez actually elevates his game when facing top competition. His performance level changes dramatically based on his opponent's quality. Against someone like Stevenson, Lopez gets pushed to operate at maximum capacity, using every bit of his reflexes, timing, and boxing IQ. This bout isn't just about physical power or strength, it's really testing mental sharpness and the ability to make adjustments. Experts point out that Lopez could absolutely step up when it matters, but only if he shows restraint, controls his aggression, and stays away from repetitive attacks that Stevenson can read and counter. Looking at it this way, this matchup becomes the perfect example of raw ability versus strategic brilliance. Shakur Stevenson's hand speed is something that demands serious attention. People who study the sport have pointed out that Stevenson's quickness basically becomes a power punch. His shots arrive faster than opponents can react to, turning even light touches into highly damaging blows. The way his speed catches people off guard lets him connect with clean, fight-changing punches that throw off opponents' rhythm completely. Ennis, an experienced analyst, explains that most fighters can't even see Stevenson's attacks coming, and this could be the deciding factor in a war with Lopez. When you mix that kind of accuracy with blazing speed, Stevenson gets to control every exchange, set the pace exactly how he wants, and capitalize on errors, giving him a massive tactical edge in every combination.
Teofimo Lopez needs opponents like Shakur Stevenson because they are elite fighters. He needs that to bring out the very best in him. I just can't see how it's possible that whilst Teofimo, we've seen a ceiling with him in terms of he's been beaten by certain opponents, we know that he can lose in the ring. But I don't know if that's a genuine ceiling, because I think that his ceiling is actually one of the most changeable in boxing based on who's in front of him. And so actually, I think there's a very, very good chance we're going to see the best possible version of Teofimo Lopez in the ring against Shakur Stevenson. But we should talk about Shakur Stevenson before we get into the nuts and bolts of the fight, what it might look like, and why it is so risky for both men. Now, Shakur Stevenson is currently undefeated. He's 24-0 with 11 KOs. He turned pro back in 2017. He's the same age as Teofimo Lopez at 28 years old, both men in their athletic primes. He's 5'8". These are on paper heights, so potentially a little bit shorter. He could even be a bit taller than Teofimo Lopez. I really need to see them next to each other to make that assessment. No lifts in the shoes, all that stuff. But around the same size is the most important thing. The difference, though, with Shakur Stevenson is he's actually a 3-weight division world champion, and he started a division lower than Teofimo Lopez, meaning naturally it would appear that he's slightly the smaller man. Although that doesn't necessarily mean they're now not the same size. He could easily have filled out to be roughly the same size as Teofimo Lopez is on the night in the ring. Now, for me, I'm going to jump back to 2021 to first start talking about Shakur Stevenson, when he managed to get a win over Jamel Herring. Again, he'd had significant wins before this fight, but it was the first one where I really tuned into his career. Notable wins had already come against Joet Gonzalez, Jeremiah Nakathila, but no one that was really a household name. Maybe Joet Gonzalez. No giant names. Jamel Herring was the first one where I was like, I know who Jamel Herring is. He beat Carl Frampton. He beat Lamont Roach. This is a very, very decent operator. And what can I say? I mean, Shakur Stevenson just absolutely dominated him and TKO'd him in the 10th round of their fight. But this was a really, really landmark, standout performance from Shakur Stevenson. The talent was there for all to see. Everybody could tell this was a serious professional fighter.
Boots Ennis delivers a serious heads-up to Teofimo Lopez, emphasizing that Shakur Stevenson is absolutely not someone you can sleep on. Stevenson's hand speed goes way beyond just being fast. It's a legitimate threat. Opponents constantly miss seeing his shots until it's too late, giving him a built-in edge in timing and accuracy. Even lighter shots that look harmless can create serious damage because his speed lets them connect perfectly and catch people completely off guard. Ennis stresses that if Lopez makes the mistake of overlooking Stevenson's blend of speed, skill, and fight IQ, it could cost him everything, since every single punch carries more danger than meets the eye, making Stevenson an incredibly hazardous matchup inside those ropes.
Pick him apart, man. Pick him apart. And I gotta tell everybody this, that Wichicombe is real athletic too. Teofimo. So I mean, I don't think it's gonna be an easy fight. You know what I mean? People think, a lot of people say it's gonna be easy and all. Nah. Teofimo can punch and he can box. And like I said, he's real athletic. So, you know what I mean? That'll make it a little difficult right there. You know what I mean?
I see a lot of people going back and forth with it. Some people think Teo got the advantage because of the weight and that he's athletic and explosive. Some people say Shakur is the better boxer.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
How you see that fight ending?
Well, they saying, they got the weight and all that. I see Shakur box big guys, light heavyweights and all that stuff. It's like Boots, he box heavyweights and put the heavyweights down. You know what I mean? I think that's the right move for him. You know what I mean? Get up, and I think he can really do good at that weight.
This isn't a stoppage.
I'm looking at a decision, not a stoppage. But then all according how Teo come in. Teo come at him, he's gonna run into some shots.
It might be over. You know what I mean?
Now, you always tell me it's the shot that you don't see coming.
That's it.
That power is speed.
Right.
So, could it be a situation where people underestimate Shakur's punching power?
Yeah. I think Shakur can punch. You know what I mean? I think he can punch. It's just like I said, speed is power. You know, not them guys, muscle bound guys come in and they tell me, oh, he can punch and all that. Like I just got finished saying, like you just got finished saying, matter of fact. The punch that you don't see knocks him out. And they always say, man, I didn't see that punch coming. That's the one you worry about. I mean, then you got to look at this. Shakur.
Shakur Stevenson's complete ownership of responsibility in the ring sets him apart from most fighters today. He treats every practice session and bout with total discipline, knowing that each choice, each step, and each tactical shift can determine victory or defeat. Stevenson accepts complete ownership of how he performs, preparing obsessively in every way possible to guarantee he can implement his strategy when the pressure peaks. This level of self-awareness pushes him to constantly improve his abilities, fix his weaknesses, and make changes during the actual fight. His dedication to taking responsibility doesn't just improve his technical skills, it also builds his mental strength, creating a fighter who stays ready, thinks strategically, and delivers peak performance against anyone. Even with Stevenson's clear technical advantages, experts warn against counting out Lopez completely.
Rise to the occasion and be prepared for that fight. So I feel like Shakur has to keep that fight in the middle of the ring, use his counter ability. But if Teo's speed is a problem, I think Shakur is going to run into a lot of problems. But if Shakur is the faster fighter with the good reflexes to counter, he'll be fine, I think. But, Teo says a lot of crazy things that, a lot of us don't agree with. But at the end of the day, the dude can fight. His last performance, showed him that his levels to this, right? Lopez is on a whole different, I'll say, category when it comes to boxing that Shakur's at. I think this is a great fight. I'm going to go ahead and give my prediction. If these two fight, it's going to be kind of like a Floyd versus Zab Judah-ish, or I'm going to say Zab Judah. I know Zab Judah is a different fighter than Lopez, but I think what's going to happen is going to become a chess match. Who can counter who? Lopez, I think, will get hit early and start respecting Shakur's power. I think Shakur will keep everything to the middle of the ring and be able to adjust with his movements, his counter ability, and his defense. Like, he's able to make those adjustments that are very similar to Floyd. So I'm going to go with Shakur on this one. But you cannot sleep on Lopez because he comes to fight. The fight that he shocked me was against Lomachenko. He came ready for war. And I think Shakur, he's starting to, get fights that are kind of setting him up for these mega fights, and he'll be prepared for that.
Timothy Bradley points out that Lopez brings unpredictability and supreme confidence to every fight. Even though he might struggle against a disciplined, technically superior opponent like Stevenson, his readiness to gamble and jump on opportunities makes him extremely dangerous. Lopez's knockout power, combined with his self-belief, means one small defensive mistake from Stevenson could immediately change everything. This element keeps the fight extremely risky and impossible to predict, despite Stevenson's obvious advantages in skill and ring IQ. Lopez's mindset and previous struggles also play a major role in evaluating this matchup. He's gone through phases of losing focus and questioning his motivation, which sometimes made him think about quitting boxing entirely. Family problems and outside pressures have occasionally hurt his concentration, creating inconsistent performances. But recent updates indicate he's reconnected with his original passion for the sport. Getting back that love and commitment is crucial for Lopez to reach his potential against someone as skilled as Stevenson. Experts think if Lopez locks in mentally 100%, he can raise his game significantly. But any lingering distractions could prove devastating in a fight that requires complete physical and mental focus.
Easy damn fight for Shakur Stevenson. Nope, it ain't gonna be an easy fight. Nope. After studying freaking Lopez yesterday, man, look, that athleticism that he got, that speed that he got, the boy is a what's the name I'm looking for? What can I say? He's autonomous. That's the word I'm looking for. He's an autonomous fighter. Okay? What does that mean, autonomous fighter, Tim? Shakur is too. Just like Floyd is. Just like Crawford is. Just like Inoue is. You know, young fighters want to get to that point in their career where they become autonomous fighters. Okay? Where you don't need no damn instructions. You don't need no guidance. You know how to figure it out. Your fundamentals are so damn sound that you got skills now built on top of those fundamentals. Now it's second nature for you. You know what I'm saying? You didn't see the same patterns and rhythms and styles and so on and so forth that it's second nature. It's nothing for you. These guys can operate without any damn instructions, without being told what to do. That's how great these dudes are. Or I should say good they are. They still got to prove they great, right? But, look, the thing that surprised me about T.O. last night after watching him, man, is that his speed and quickness and how fast he's able to strike. Look, I'm going to tell you where he's going. Because I watched a little bit of Shakur last night. He going to Shakur's body.
That wraps up today's breakdown. Catch you next time.